Grandma, folks have been wanting you to make some cranberry pepper jelly. Are you gonna do that?
Good morning, y'all. Y'all see this? It's a beautiful Monday morning. And I have made pineapple pepper jelly before, but I've used my cranberry pepper jelly on several of my videos, and I had several of you have asked me to make my pineapple pepper jelly. So that is what I'm going to do today. We're using cranberries. Now, I have this pineapple in the refrigerator, and I'm going to use it with my cranberries. You don't have to do that. Sometimes I will use pear, sometimes I'll use apple, sometimes I just do plain cranberry. So the recipe that I'm going to put in my description box, I'm not going to put the pineapple in it. This is just something I do when I make jellies and jams a lot. I add to it, but you watch this video. If you want to add other fruits to yours, then it's perfectly fine, and I will give you that option underneath the recipe, and my recipe will be in the description box. But I am only going to give you the recipe for the cranberry, but I'll give you other options down below. Now, we are using, because we are making this sugarless, I have got 5 cups of sweetener here, 3 cups of stevia, 1 cup of allulose, 1 cup of sugar. Takes 5 cups to make this recipe. It takes 2 cups of your fruit, 2 cups of peppers, 5 cups of sweetener. Now, this is the Sure Gel. This is the pectin that I'm using, and it's Sure Gel, and it's for less or no sugar added recipes. You see that, baby?
Mm-hmm.
And it's the one that has it's in a pink box. The regular is in a yellow box, and it has original written on it. This one is in a pink box, and it says for use in less or no sugar added recipes. Sure Gel Premium Fruit Pectin for homemade jams and jellies. Okay? This is a good time to subscribe to my channel, share this video, hit that little notification bell, because I'm sure there are lots of you out there like me and Roy that love jellies and jams but don't like all the sugar. So,
now, those of you who are worried about the sugar, just stay tuned. This is going to be low carb load in the finished product, so that per serving you'll be able to eat this even if you're low carb.
okay, now I am using these little, I'm using several different kinds of peppers. These are the little, the ones I've got on top here are the little, they're little, and I kept the package so you could see it. They're called little sweeties. You can use those, and that is these right here, the red and yellow ones. Now, the ones underneath, that one's bad. I'll have to take it out. These are the ones that my great niece, she lives down the road, and she has a little garden, and she brought me these, and I've already taken the top off of them and seeded them. And then you can also use the big sweet peppers. You can use the yellow, the orange, red, whatever you want. But and I usually try to use red. If I do pineapple pepper jelly, peach pepper jelly, any other fruit, I try to use the red because it's so pretty in there. But since I'm using cranberries and they're already such a deep red, then I'm going to use my yellow peppers, because I like to save my red peppers for things that I use when they show up in the dish. Now, this is 1 pound of cranberries. I had them frozen in the freezer. They've been in the freezer since last fall. I've washed them really well, and I need 2 cups, so I may not use all of these, but I'm going to put them in my food processor back here, and I'm going to process, not all of them probably. Woo! Some of them still frozen. All right, I got some on the floor, but I'll get them up in a minute. All right, I'm gonna process these. Y'all just hold on. Now, you process them as much as you want. Since these are frozen, it's taking a little bit longer. You can process them till they're just like a pulp, or you can have little bitty pieces in it. I want it with the little bitty pieces in it, and I'm gonna do my peppers the same way. So, hold on. Okay. Let me get it all down, and ooh, I just stepped on one, I heard it pop. All right, this is my 2 cups right here. So this is 2 cups of fruit of my cranberries. And these are raw cranberries. These are not cooked. All right, I'm gonna put them in and I've got my jars here in some boiling water. I'm processing them. I washed them really, really well. And I'm gonna go ahead and put, this is crushed pineapple, and that was 1 cup of crushed pineapple. So really, I guess that's 3 cups of fruit, but it's not gonna make a difference in the recipe. Now, this is gonna be pepper jelly, hot pepper jelly. Not real hot. You can use jalapeños if you want to, but Jenny, my daughter, cannot eat jalapeños, so what I use in the place of jalapeños is just crushed red pepper flakes. So I'll put about a half a teaspoon in, and if that's not quite hot enough, she can't eat a lot of really hot things either. So if that's not quite hot enough, then I'll just put a few pinches of a little bit more. So, all right, we've got our 2 cups of cranberries, our 1 cup of pineapple. Now, I'm going to process my peppers just like I did my cranberries. And I just chop them. I want to save my red ones because I don't need them to make this red because it's already going to be red enough. And I want to use all these little ones that Hannah, my niece down the road, gave me. Now it takes 2 cups of these peppers. Now if you want yours really hot and you want to use jalapeños, then you can use 2. If you want it really, really hot, leave the seeds in it. If you don't want it so hot, then take the seeds out. And I've even seen people use habaneros, not me. We grew habaneros several years ago, and let me tell you something now.
Well, when we grew habaneros in our garden, the fire ants for a 1/4 mile moved out.
They were so hot, so hot. I'm just taking, I didn't take all the ends off of these peppers, so I'm just taking, and these little ones do not have seeds in them, so I'm not having to, they got a little membrane right there, but they don't have any seeds in them. So I'm not having to take the seeds out of them. Okay. I'm going to process my peppers. I'm not going to make you watch me do that.
What you doing, Grandmama?
Oh, sorry, y'all.
I got you again.
You got me again. All right, I have got my 2 cups of fruit, my 2 cups of peppers in here. Now, remember, if you want yours hot, then you put jalapeños, habaneros, whatever pepper you want to put in yours. But I'm going to start out with a half teaspoon of my crushed red pepper flakes. I've got my burner on medium high. Now I'm going to put my 1 package of my pectin, my shear gel. We're going to bring this to a boil. We're going to let it boil until you can't stir the boil down. Okay? All right, I've got my peppers in here. I've got my cranberries, raw cranberries. I've got my cranberries in here. I've got my box of Sure-Jell. We're gonna cook this till it comes up to a rolling boil. A rolling boil is one that you cannot stir down. Then, after it boils for 1 minute with our Sure-Jell in it, then we're gonna put our sweetener. So, all right.
Can I ask something, Grandma?
Sure.
I don't see no water in there to boil.
No, it will. I mean, the water will cook out of the fruit. So,
Oh, okay.
all right, we'll be back. All right, y'all. You see that? Now, when you're working with jams, this is really not jelly. This is more like a jam because I like jams a lot better. I call it pepper jelly, but it's really cranberry pepper jam. Is what it is. And you can see this. It's boiling. It's not like jelly would foam up and really, but you see that? When I'm stirring it, it's still boiling really hard. Now, Roy said, where's my liquid? I have forgot that you have to put 1/2 cup of apple cider vinegar and 1/2 cup of water. And if you're using pineapple, you can use pineapple juice. So, that will be in my recipe though. All right, now, we just put our sweetener in it. I'm going to taste of it because a lot of times your cranberries are more tart than they are other times. So, I'm going to taste of it, and I've got a little bit more allulose right here if I need it. If it's not quite as sweet, since the cranberries sometimes are more tart than others, then I will put a little bit more allulose. But all of this I'm going to have in the description box now. So, all right, I'm going to let this come to a boil. I'm going to let it boil 2 minutes. After it comes up to another rolling boil that I can't stir down, then I'm going to let it cook 2 minutes, and we're going to be ready to jar. And I've got all my jars out here. I've got different sizes of jars, different shapes, because I like to use ones like this and this to give away as gifts. So, all right, it's getting there. We're gonna give it a couple more minutes. Give that stevia. Sometimes the stevia clumps, and you just have to work to get it down. Sometimes I take a whisk, and it works better if you put your stevia in a little bit at a time. I just dump mine in, but it works better if you just put a little bit in, stir it, a little bit more, stir it. All right, give me another minute. All right, y'all see this? You see how it's cooking? I'm stirring it. It will not quit boiling. This is a rolling boil. This is what a rolling boil is. And this already seems thick, so you know what? I've got my timer on 2 minutes, but I'm only going to do mine 1 minute. The recipe says 1 minute, but I have learned that 2 minutes works well, but this is already thick. I can tell that it's not going to take but 1 minute. So when my timer gets down to 1 minute, then we're going to start jarring it up. Okay, now I've got it on medium-high. Keep it on medium-high, but you have to keep it stirred the whole time. And I did take a whisk. Okay, that's my 1 minute. I'm going to turn it off. Well, there. All right.
Did you turn your eye off also?
I turned my burner off. All right. Now, my jars are still hot.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to put hot juice into a cold glass, would you?
No. Okay.
Boy, that's pretty.
Isn't that pretty?
Mm-hmm.
Look, that's the reason I didn't use my red peppers. Okay. And I leave a 1/2 inch head space. Okay, I want a taste of this. I forgot the taste of it to see if it was sweet enough. Of course, it's almost too late now. Woo! That little bit of pepper I put in is delicious. All right, it's already beginning to gel. Okay. All right, I think I'll do this one next. It's hard to do these. This funnel doesn't fit down in it, and it won't use a regular funnel because my cranberries won't go through it. So I just have to kind of put it cattywampus. It's not going to quite fill this one up, but Roy and I will eat this for breakfast in the morning. Okay, now what I'm going to do is take my towel, if I can find it. Here it is. Excuse me, honey. Take my clean towel, clean off the rim. This one has its own rubber seal, so
you just press down.
Just press down. All right. Clean the rim off good. You don't want anything to keep it from sealing. All right, I have sterilized my lids. Put it on finger tight like that. And I'll clean this one off because you don't want any of that cranberry.
Now she sterilizes cloth in bleach water.
I'll sterilize, yes, everything. All right. As you can see, I just had plum jelly in this jar. So I'll take that label off and put another one on. And this one, Roy and I will just eat for breakfast in the morning. So now I'm going to put these down in my water here. In my hot water, and I'm going to process them for 5 minutes in boiling water. I'll bring my water back up to a boil, and I'll process them for 5 minutes.
Grandmama, are you smiling because you're about to get to eat some?
All right, y'all. Now I'm going to show you what Roy and I eat for breakfast almost every morning, and sometimes we eat it for supper. We have a big meal at lunch because I'm usually doing a video and we eat whatever I make, but for breakfast I may cook us a piece of sausage. We'll take one of my 0 carb tortilla shells here, and this is Mission brand and it's 0 carb, and this is the sriracha ranch. You can get sriracha, jalapeños, chipotle, plain, and there's an sun-dried tomato. They come in several different flavors and maybe more than that, but that's all I have found. And we'll take a little piece of peanut. We'll put this in the microwave for 45 seconds, and it becomes a cracker.
Look at that.
It becomes a cracker. So
you wouldn't put jelly on that.
Now this is my jelly I made this morning. Now I'm going to put 1 teaspoon of jelly, so you'll see. Roy's going to give y'all the geo load and everything in a minute, but this is 1 teaspoon of jelly on one of these. Now I'm telling you, and it makes 5 to 6 half pints or cups. And if you're putting it in jelly jars, this is a cup, this is like 12 ounces, this is 16 ounces, and this is about another 10 or 12 ounces because this is a 16 ounce. So it makes about 5 to 6 cups, which if you were putting it in jelly jars, you'd have several. But I put it in different sizes, so So mine doesn't make a lot of jars, but it makes a lot of jelly. So, y'all, this is delicious. This cranberry pepper jelly is one of my favorite. Pineapple is my favorite. I think cranberry is next, and then I do peach. I do pear. I do all kinds of jams, pepper jams. So, Roy's gonna give y'all some numbers on this. Come to Grandma Rose's open pantry.
Talking about?
Let me close it out, then you give. Food feeds the family, family feeds the heart, God feeds the soul. Y'all, Go ahead, baby.
All right, the lowdown on this as far as the carb load, it's very low GL, glycemic load. The glycemic load of the finished product of 5 cups here is 2 carb, 2 GL, glycemic load carbs, per tablespoon, which means you can easily make 2 of these crackers that she's got here. There's no carb load in the tortilla shell, and there would only be 2 carbs. All right, the carb load of the cracker with the jelly that she's placed on it is a GL of 1, a GL of 1. So for breakfast, if you wanted to eat 2 of these, you'd only invest 2 GL, 2 carb loads in your breakfast. If you wanted to eat this, the 2 of these or 1 of these with a sausage patty, you're still at 2 GL if you eat 2 of them. 1 GL if you eat 1 of them. 1 tablespoon of this jelly, as she prepared it, is 2 glycemic load. Glycemic load of 2. So you can eat it, you can hack, even into keto. You can use this as snacks or for breakfast and for supper.
There's only 1 cup of sugar in 5 cups, in 4 cups of sweetener. So that's the reason Roy's giving you all these numbers, is because it's so low.
And when you use the glycemic load, you'll find there's so many things you can eat and still stay low carb as long as you control the volume.